This is America's oldest soccer tournament. Built in small towns with big dreams. From local grounds to the biggest stages. Part-timers and major leaguers chase the same thing. A cup that doesn't care about your club's payroll or what the pundits say. A cup that invites the chaos and carries a legacy. Under the lights, between the lines, it's one match at a time. To cement your name in history. This is the 111th edition of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup.
The Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup takes a stop in the Lone Star State for some opening round action between USL Championship Club San Antonio FC and Houston FA Premier Division amateur side ASC New Stars. Welcome one and all to the broadcast. My name is Mark Schoenster. I am joined by Ross Davenport on the call. Excited to get this cup game going. San Antonio, professional side, not overlooking this match. Jorge Hernandez is starting.
Yeah, perhaps a bit of a surprise to see him in the starting 11, but he's part of a pretty strong overall lineup. 25-year-old man, 25-year-old man from Mexico. Superb 2025 campaign. Didn't take long to open his 2026 account, scored in the opening win over Phoenix.
Meanwhile, on the other side, ASC New Stars will be led by a former professional themselves.
Yeah, Ivan Liqueta, the 29-year-old Colombian-American, born in Houston, played 15 times for the Independents in USL League One a few years ago. Scored a couple of goals, has played internationally. Also had a hat-trick in qualifying and a 5-0 second round win. Will be the main concern for San Antonio tonight.
They'll be looking to feed him the entire game, ASC New Stars. Hop into your boots and get ready to ride. Take care of business at home, or is there a cup set brewing tonight? Stay locked in to find out here up next. ASC New Stars and San Antonio FC are on the deck.
Rodman cuts inside. Rodman to the far corner. It's a special goal from Trinity Rodman. Macario goes to chip the keeper. It's sublime. Lamar from distance. Rolls the Down, sliding it through, it's a chance for anti-runs. It's Gio Reyna across goal. Balogun! The way opens up for Alex Freeman. Rodman cuts inside. Rodman to the far corner. It's a special goal from Trinity Rodman. Macario goes to chip the keeper. It's sublime. Lamar from distance. Rolls the Rodman cuts inside. Rodman to the far corner. It's a special goal from Trinity Rodman. Macario goes to chip the keeper. It's sublime. Lamar from distance. Rolls the ball.
From Toyota Field, it's the 111th Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Mark Schoenster, Ross Davenport with you here. Here are some starting lineups for you. Ross, what are some of the things you're taking away?
Yeah, as we expected, a number of changes for Carlos Llamosa and his men. A few injuries. Alex Grieve, Nicky Hernandez, Lucio Baron not in the 18. Neither is Santiago Patino, healthy scratch, as well as Alex Cronin. I would expect them to come out. Now, they did put themselves down as a back four. They've normally been playing in the back 3/5 this season already. As for ASC New Stars, 4-2-3-1 for them, with a number of players 30 years or older in the center of that midfield. Lots of experience, but we'll see if they can go the 90 here tonight. Just test their depth.
So San Antonio will be in the red. Meanwhile, it's the yellow with the blue shorts for ASC New Stars. Our head official for this broadcast, or for this game, I should say, Edgar Garcia, and we are off and running from Toyota Field. USL Championship side, San Antonio FC, up against ASC New Stars from the Houston Football Association.
Yeah, currently sitting in second place in the Premier Division behind Aurora FC. 18-game season, nice little amateur setup there. Season runs September through May.
Yeah, that's just to paint the picture for those who are tuning in as a third-party observer. San Antonio, not only a professional side, but second division, so there is a whole division below San Antonio that is also professional, and then you got to jump down further to get to the amateur level, which is where the ASC New Stars are located. So a bit of a David versus Goliath situation here, but that's the magic that we love about the Open Cup.
You know, I think one thing we see in this cup is a lot of times with the UPSL teams, etc., that feature a lot of the college kids, they're not even playing right now. At least ASC New Stars are in the middle of a season, know each other very well. Here's stories of some of these other amateur sides coming together for just the week before their first actual first-round game, trying to put together a squad. Not the case here with these boys from Houston.
Meanwhile, for San Antonio, not their first rodeo in this competition. Last year, they got to the third round before losing to Union Omaha on the road. Hernandez feeds it into the middle. Dealt with there by the visitors, and they'll boot it up the pitch. It'll bounce all the way over to the 31-year-old goalkeeper, Richard Sanchez.
Yeah, perhaps a bit of a surprise. Richard Sanchez hasn't been the starting goalkeeper in the USL Championship games so far this season. Not many expected him to be.
He's been the guy they've looked to in years past, but Joey Batruni is the one who's gotten the nod in their first two league matches of the season. Of course, it's a long year, and sometimes with goalkeepers, you just ride the hand that's hot in training, and if it's working in games, you don't want to mess it up, even if you've got a guy with more experience who you've relied on in the past. You never know when you need to switch it up, or, you know, I mean, you're going to have these cup competitions where you're going to need your other guy to step in.
Yeah, it's definitely a sort of a newfangled idea. I think most old school coaches would rather just have the one goalie and just ride with him no matter what. Does look like San Antonio are in that back three. They may have tricked us a little bit, Mark. Looks like Tainter on the left center back here.
Alexi Swahi looked like he was in the center, which would lead me to believe that Suarez is over on the right-hand side.
Yeah, starts the season, Suarez back. You want to see keep you on cup set alert. Didn't get any yesterday, Mark, really. Just consider Vermont beating Portland as perhaps, it is an upset, sure, but I think so much focus on that game. Vermont, what a season what a few years they've had. We have an early one tonight here. Asheville with a 2-1 lead over Greenville late in that one. See, those two faced each other last year. Just a short drive apart. I'm sure plenty of fans made the trip, and Greenville fans may be making a disappointed short trip back later tonight.
That's the magic, right, though? You get to learn a little bit about some of these lesser-known teams. So let's learn a little bit about ASC New Stars here. They've been around since 1974.
Older than me, Mark. That's crucial to mention that.
Yes, yes, you're still a young bird as this one's cleared away.
Not by much, though.
We'll go out for a corner kick. As you would imagine, San Antonio, the home side and the professional side, the ones on the front foot early here. Nelson Flores Blanco ripping in the service.
There's a good ball in, whipped in with pace, just too much pace in the end, but earned themselves a corner. Set pieces, as we could, with these amateur sides, can be the equalizer, but San Antonio very tall and big. Back three up now to contest this delivery.
Jorge Hernandez, player we highlighted before the game, will deliver the service. Ball whipped inside and headed over top. Well, actually, that was well off target. So we'll get a goal kick here. But 1974, ASC New Stars, founded by two Iranian brothers, Reza and Tahir Khalili. And it's just taken off since then. The Aria Soccer Club, been in that amateur soccer scene in Houston. And how about this tally? 68 trophies in 52 years of existence. And they got one pretty early on and never looked back, Ross.
Yeah, credit to U.S. Soccer, do a great job of focusing on some of these teams. Had a nice little article on the club last month. Check that out on the U.S. Soccer website.
Got to hear from one of the founding members and coach/player Lucas Simon, who is out there right now playing. So if you haven't read that article yet, I highly recommend it. And like you said, U.S. Soccer always does a great job every single year.
I do like that their all-boys team is called the Original Stars as opposed to the New Stars. Could have called them the Old Stars, but they decided not to do that wisely.
The OGs, come on. Gotta make sure you're always respecting them. Yeah, I believe it's 4 teams now that the soccer club is compiled of, including some older units that are still trying to keep the ball going and getting out there and playing, and I think that's great. There's no better way to build community than be competing with teammates and continuing to try and, well, beat other teams. I mean, it's going to bring you together pretty quickly, and if you keep playing, there's just something about that unification that brings you closer to somebody. And some of these guys have been playing with each other for years upon years. As Flores Blanco will feed it into the middle. Sordo gets it poked away from him.
Didn't have a potential cup set going on in Charleston. Florida Badgers down in South Florida took the Battery to stoppage time, gave up a 90-plus 12th-minute goal to the Battery. Battery win that one 2-1.
So close.
Nashville trying to hang on there in stoppage time in North Carolina. Elsewhere, not much else going on the cup set side of things. We'll keep you abreast if that changes. Got some late games as well tonight after this one. Of course, El Farolito certainly be the focus of the West Coast crowd this evening against Sacramento Republic.
Always got to tune in for the Burrito Boys. Wonderful day to be playing some footy in San Antonio. 70 degrees, only 5-mile-per-hour winds with about 50% humidity. You know how bad it can get here during the summer when it just can be a blistering heat. Not too bad in March.
Yeah, we saw some indoor games yesterday. No need for that in Texas at this time of year. San Antonio with a patient start here. Just looking to get that rhythm going and maintain possession.
I mean, the one thing you don't want to do is have something sloppy occur and you concede early, and then all the vibes and the energy are in favor of the underdog.
We saw Detroit City go down 1-0 yesterday on the road, but came back to win that one 5-1.
Certainly had answers then. Kurt Kolov switch it over to the right-hand side as they continue to seesaw back and forth.
And the key for the amateurs here, I think, is patience as well. Don't chase that ball around too much. Try to keep it in front of you. Try to pick them off on the break, or perhaps with a set piece. Always the great equalizers, as we said earlier.
Tainter feeds it in the middle, and it's popped straight up in the air. Nodded down for Hernandez. Takes one touch. Collision in the penalty area. Ref says play on.
And no real appeals from the home team.
Flores Blanco swerving in. Taps it to his left. Great save. Emmanuel Frias activates the splits.
Yeah, goalkeeper with a lot of experience in this competition for various teams, Mark. Big save there.
Here they come again. Shot sliding towards goal and a roll wide. Frias made some big saves in the penalty shootout that got him to this point here as we take a look at what he just executed a moment ago.
And the ball just finding it at the feet of Luke Hawkinson. Frias, not the biggest goalie in the world, but came out and made himself big, spread himself. Big stop. Love to have as an underdog goalkeeper in this competition to get that first save out the way.
Yeah, in order to get to this point, it took beating a USL 2 side, which is semi-pro. The Denton Diablos. It was a 0-0 game. They went the whole 120 minutes and were able to decide it in penalty kicks. Lucas Simon, who's out there on the pitch, he's number 13, also considered the coach on the team. Talking about that game, said it took us some time to realize we could compete. There's a little bit of an intimidation factor with playing up against a USL 2 team, but they grew into the game, realized that they could make it happen, had some big chances to win during the game to just take it outright without penalty kicks. And he mentioned, as far as the qualifiers as a whole are concerned, because they had some games where they were able to get out to a pretty comfortable scoreline. He said the results make it look dominant, but the games were much tighter and more balanced than the score suggests, so humble in victory. But it's going to be a similar formula today for the visitors. Got to figure out exactly where they can dance and if there is an avenue for them to pull off a shocking result. Flores Blanco was just able to keep that one in bounds, and that was late and from the back. Luke Hawkinson just came crashing in.
Well, the problem with this is that Sebastian Frias, partly his own fault there for not coming out and getting that ball a little quicker. He sort of waited for the ball to come to him. I don't think anybody told him Hawkinson was keeping an eye on Frias here. He really should have come towards this ball a little quicker, so he waits for it to come to him instead of just going out and pouncing on it. Certainly a foul on Hawkinson, but Frias has to be careful there. He's partly to blame for that one. I think that's what the referee is saying. Just be careful, Hawkinson. No card.
So 12 minutes in. The game has basically taken place on the left half of the pitch. San Antonio working the ball around and trying to ask the right questions and test and see what this ASC New Stars team is made of.
It's always interesting how these amateur sides come out and attack these teams to a certain degree. You want to come out and try and be competitive, right? But that leaves yourself exposed at the back, especially to big mistakes. Here you can see that ASC New Stars, 2 banks of 4-4-4-2 without the ball. Just going to try and hold on here at least as long as they can. Only when that first goal goes in, then they have to open themselves up, and things can get a little ugly, as we saw yesterday in the few games.
Yeah, I feel like you got to just hang on for as long as you can and wait for the opportunity to arise.
And that back line, San Antonio just creeping further and further up the field. But once again, we talked about Luqueta and what he can do. He's only 29 years old.
Sordo. That one will deflect off the defender. I believe that's Johan Bernard over there defending. And we got another corner kick as the home side fans chant here from Toyota Field. Always a nice venue in the USL Championship.
As you can see down there, good amount of crowd for a Wednesday night.
Hernandez, the fourth-year man with San Antonio, sends this one inside, and a body block from the defender knocks it out for another corner kick. Mitch Tainert trying to dive that one in.
Good bit of defending there by Johan Bernard. It's almost similar to that Manchester City penalty that was given away. Kept the arms down this time. Bernard got his chest on it, knocked it away.
Curling ball parried in, just like they drew it up. San Antonio FC are on the board. It's a lovely ball from Nelson Flores Blanco.
You see the ASC New Stars player. Unfortunately, it was Johan Bernard just made the nice stop. Was a little late getting out from that front post. Didn't get out of the 6-yard box before that ball was played in. Kept all of the San Antonio players onside, excuse me. And that was too easy in the end.
Alexi Swahi, the one who is able to redirect that one in off the assist from Nelson Flores Blanco. And just like that, the professionals have gotten onto the front foot, both in the run of the game and also now on the score sheet 15 minutes in.
Yeah, it's just a disappointing goal to give up. Just far too easy. Beat the offside trap. And just lining up at that back post to slot it home.
San Antonio, we're not going to underestimate this match following their result on the weekend in league play. Carlos Llamosa said that they're focusing on the Open Cup on Wednesday and how important of a tournament it was for their squad, and they're going to let guys rest on Monday and then get ready to go on Monday and Tuesday, or excuse me, rest on Sunday, then get ready to go on Monday and Tuesday to be as prepared as they possibly could be for the game. It's always a tricky part of the year because you've got league games every single weekend, and then you inject these cup matches in the middle, and you're also still trying to get game fit because it's early on in the season.
Yeah, disappointing. I mean, 0-0 draw on the weekend at Tulsa. The result was good, but the stats in that game were disappointing. San Antonio very lucky to come away with the point in that one. So Llamosa clearly looking to get something positive out of this game and off to a good start here.
This one slicing in, falls back to Flores Blanco. Hawkinson got a piece of it, but Frias able to smother that one before it crossed the line.
See, Frias talking again to Bernard. The 5-4 man at that right fullback spot. He's been exposed a little bit so far in this first 17 minutes. Yeah, San Antonio only had the one shot on goal at Tulsa on Saturday, outshot 12-9. 32 touches in the opponent's box for Omaha, only 5 for San Antonio. So certainly some things to work on tonight, and off to a good start here.
Worth acknowledging, Ross, we were talking about cup sets. Asheville City have gone final against Greenville, 3-1 your final score.
Yeah, a slim cup set, I'll say. Last year in that competition, I think it went to extra time. It was with all penalties in that same matchup. This time Asheville comes away with the win. Disappointing start to the campaign for the Triumph, who lost their league opener. Yeah, it was Bernard beaten back behind him there by Nelson Flores Blanco, continuing to pound down that left wing back spot.
Nelson Flores Blanco from San Miguel, El Salvador. His third year with San Antonio. He's gotten a look in both of their league games so far this season, and they are giving him a ton of burn in these first 20 minutes. And if it ain't broke, I mean, you just keep going in that direction and keep daring the opposition to stop you. And here he is again. This time it's poked away, and Bernard able to clear it out. He touched it last, though, so it'll be a throw in for the home side.
Yeah, Bernard, one of several players in this ASC New Stars squad, played at his college soccer at St. Thomas University, Houston.
The Celts. Division III school, by the way. That'll be a foul. So this is the fourth time that ASC New Stars have made an appearance in this competition. It's been a good while since they've last played. Have to go back all the way to 2012. But in their other trips, they have played Charleston, Orlando City, the Laredo Heat. And now they can add San Antonio to the catalog of big programs they've had the chance to match up against on the pitch.
There's a ton of amateur soccer talent in the state of Texas. Always difficult to get out of that U.S. Open qualifying in that state.
That one settled down by Simon.
I mentioned Lucas Simon, 39. He's got two 35-year-olds either side of him in Tata Amadi and Giovanni Macias. A 32-year-old behind him in Miguel Zapata. Obviously 29-year-old Ivan Luqueta up top.
I've been told 30 is the new 20, Ross, so I think they're ready to go.
A little different when you're chasing around professionals than it is on a Houston evening or afternoon, chasing fellow amateurs. There's a chance perhaps to build something.
Short-lived opportunity, but ASC New Stars. Still, when you get the ball at your feet, it's a moment of reprieve because it is so tense having to defend on this side and make sure you get every interaction right. Because it is just that difference, right, Ross, where, I mean, you can play soccer passionately, pick it up every single evening after work, but these guys, they go to work and their work is thinking about this and doing drills and constantly having your foot on the ball and considering all the decisions you have to make in a game, and that's a pretty significant gap. I mean, you can talk about when a USL League One side is playing an MLS team and the gap that's there, but at least then you're talking about professionals playing professionals just at a different level.
Yeah, most of all of these guys with 9 to 5 jobs. Some in coaching for sure, and around soccer a little more, but I remember the LPGA Tour commercials, right? These guys are good was the tagline, and it's very similar with these professionals that do this on a day-to-day basis. Even if it is the start of the season, still trying to find their feet, and they can't get balls away like that. It was a foul, thankfully, for ASC.
Some shirt tugging occurring, and Edgar Garcia wasn't going to have it. You mentioned the 0-0 draw last weekend for San Antonio. 1 win and 1 draw to start the season. It's their second year under the man Carlos Llamosa, the former MLS player and U.S. men's national team player. Able to make the playoffs last season in his first year in charge. Always a program that's in the conversation for contention in the West.
Yeah, haven't quite lived up to the expectations, I think, since winning the title a few years ago. Kept the majority of the squad, 2/3 of the squad together this year. Something good to see for a second-year coach. Certainly the win against Phoenix was a good way to start the season.
Tainter slides it up ahead for Sordo. Look who it is, Nelson Flores Blanco on the ball.
3 of their first 4 league games at home. New Mexico coming up this Saturday. Always a tough fixture. And then home against Lexington. And a couple of trips to California after that. Yeah, I think San Antonio should be expected to make the playoffs again. The question of whether they can get that first round home game.
That one trying to be tapped through to Hernandez. And that's what's happening here right now for the home side, just continuing to poke and prod and see what buttons they can push. And it's all reactionary for the amateur side at the moment.
As you would expect, the possession stats heavily skewed towards San Antonio, 73% so far. 3 times as many passes completed. Key for ASC New Stars is going to be how long they can keep this game as a 1-goal deficit.
Could be something brewing here. Win the ball in a moment like that. The unfortunate thing was that it was won by the top of your formation, so you had no one forward to bomb the ball to. Clearance provided and actually goes right to a teammate. We'll get a free kick.
Ivan Luqueta dropping a little deeper now to try and get involved. Lone figure up there at the top of this 4-2-3-1 formation so far.
Bernard keeps it in play, and now he'll roll it up the pitch. But reading that pass first is Tainter. Now Hawkinson.
Playing a little more inside now. He was playing wide earlier. Hawkinson, a man that can play almost every position on the pitch.
Kolov See a couple guys out there, Ross. Kurt Koloff, one of them, and Lucas Simon for ASC New Stars. They got the shirt tucked in. I'm glad it's an art and a display that's not dying. Anytime you see someone who's like that, you think, all right, that person's serious. You got to take them seriously. As this one slips through to Sordo, and Frias will keep it from crossing the boundary.
It used to be the socks, right? You have so many players with the socks down. See fewer these days with the socks down. Yeah, you see fewer and fewer with the shirt tucked in as well.
I'll be 100% honest. When I play, I don't have my shirt tucked in, but if I see someone on my team who does tuck it in, I know that's a guy that I can play the ball to, and they're going to do right with it.
You live up to expectations, though. It's like with the amateur golfers with the flashy clubs show up on the first tee, and you say, you better know how to play those, son. The flashy outfits. Living here in Florida, those show up in pants.
Long ball played into the penalty area, and Frias is able to read it in time.
Since the goal went in, AFC have firmed the defense up a little bit. Just that one half chance a few minutes ago. Sebastian Frias certainly hasn't been getting hammered in goal there.
Well, and worth acknowledging, the goal conceded was on a drawn-up play on a set piece, which is another one of those benefits you get as going to the football pitch for your 9 to 5 is you get the chance to just craft some stuff up and get it coordinated and synced just right. Sordo with some room to operate. Cuts it back to the middle for Hernandez. And he backtracks.
Yeah, don't let that man turn inside the box.
And speaking of training ground set pieces, another corner kick here.
Hoping a good number of fans made the trip from Houston. Can't really see tonight because all the fans are on this side, the camera side of the pitch.
This one will be driven straight in, and Frias steps out to punch it. You certainly can hear them, even if you can't see them, the drumming and the chanting. Sorto. Now Mikey Maldonado with a heavy touch there, and ASC New Stars will take advantage of that.
Yeah, Mikey Maldonado, certainly probably the main key addition this offseason for San Antonio.
Luqueta will be called for the foul there. Walking over the left wing back, Nelson Flores Blanco, who has been heavily involved in the early stages of this game. Mentioned earlier, I thought it was about 4 teams that ASC is composed of, and it is 4 to be precise. Mentioned one of the 2 founding brothers was interviewed in that article for U.S. Soccer, and they have 4 different clubs. Mentioned that they're multicultural. Over the years, they've had players from more than 50 different countries. He said, as long as you can play football, you're welcome at ASC. And I mean, that's just the wonderful thing about these amateur clubs, which is that it can just be composed of everybody within your community, regardless of where you're from. You just got to speak the sport of footy and welcome in. Obviously, you get pretty multicultural lineups at the professional ranks, but they're all from different places that are all assembled together on the professional team versus people that are your neighbors in your community already.
That you want to play with, right? Sometimes professionals get stuck with teammates they don't want to play with.
Ball ripped into the middle, headed down. Kick save from the goalkeeper. It's good work from the goalie, though it wouldn't have counted. The offside flag did go up.
Wasn't by much, though. Mitch Tainter in there again, the edge of the 6-yard box. Frias, we figured he'd be a busy man tonight. It was his first big stop, didn't count. New Stars certainly here trying to slow things down a little bit.
be put back into play. And 30 minutes down, 1-0 in favor of San Antonio, but you would say defensively ASC has held up firmly. Obviously, they're doing a lot of suffering in this game, as it sometimes is described in the sport, where the other team has the ball and is knocking on the door, but it's certainly not turned into a shot barrage, as sometimes you can see this game's develop into. Maldonado cuts it out wide to Flores Blanco. Once again, Mikey Maldonado. Roll it in centrally. How about that challenge?
Maldonado from San Antonio. 8 assists last season in the league.
On May 31st, Charlotte, North Carolina welcomes the U.S. men's national team for the All-State Continental Classico against Senegal, the champions of Africa. Get your first look at the nation's biggest stars before they head to the FIFA World Cup this summer. The match kicks off at Bank of America Stadium at 5 p.m. Eastern. Tickets are available now at ussoccer.com/tickets. I was about to say,
Nobody read that
champions of
copy.
Africa, but
Listen, they're champions in my book, Mark, and in many people's book, despite what happened yesterday.
yeah, per Fabricio, might be other news, other names that could be mentioned there in that spot, but
It's just a mess.
always something going on over there, huh, Ross? I tell you what, that maybe, I would say most entertaining 90 minutes, but it was certainly more than 90 minutes. One of the most entertaining conclusions to a game I've ever watched.
No doubt. Speaking of the conclusions, we've got some games. We'll get to that in a second.
This ball ripped towards goal, and it's a stinging save from Frias.
Almost everybody sort of stopped. They weren't sure whether play was continuing, but Frias was up to the task. He has some early games to finish. You mentioned Asheville winning. Chattanooga also advancing, as well as Charleston, FC Naples, Louisville, Hartford. So Asheville, the only true cup set so far today. We only had the one yesterday. Union Omaha up 3-0 at halftime. Tulsa up 2-0. So nothing else really brewing elsewhere.
We're only like halfway through, though, luckily, Ross, this first round. Got the rest of today, and then you got some more games tomorrow.
Well, the way this first round was set up, there were no pro versus pro matchups. You didn't get to see any USL League One versus USL Championship matchups. You will be seeing that in the next round, and then following that, the MLS teams will enter.
Well, that's the wonderful thing about this competition, huh? Because right now, obviously, San Antonio are the big baddies in this game, if you will, and you could see a future where suddenly they're now the underdogs going up against an Austin, for example, and then they'll be the ones that will have the underdog rallying cry of the rest of the country hoping and cheering them on for.
Obviously, be looking forward to the draw later this week. There's a chance, perhaps. Go on, Ivan, I should say.
Luqueta, all by his lonesome right now.
Might be Ivan going all the way.
Tainter just barely able to keep the edge on Luqueta, but close is enough here.
A well-deserved round of applause. Luqueta got away with a bit of an arm tug. Trying everything, he might as well. Let's have a final in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, Mark. Into Miami departing. Nashville SC with the late goal to win an on-away goal rule, which we still have in CONCACAF, even though everybody else has got rid of it.
This one's fed inside. Hawkinson deflected straight up.
Good block there by Jesus Mansatomi, the center back.
Here comes Sordo, dicing in, and it's poked away. Very important step taken there. Couple of challenges exchanged back and forth, and now ASC with the ball.
ASC have adjusted a little better in these last 10-15 minutes to the formation, how it works for San Antonio. Hasn't been as many big gaping gaps in the back line. You can see the edge they have in skill though, San Antonio. Every first touch perfect.
How about that challenge and intervention? To get there, not quite. Alexi Swahi, always such a quality contributor, 31 years old, and he has done his tour in the USL, over 200 appearances across USL Championship and USL League One. Tainter taking his turn to the channel, rips it inside, falls to the top, and it's a rifle from Kurt Koloff. 2-0 San Antonio.
What a strike by Kurt Koloff. ASC away with it. As you mentioned, Mitch Tainter popping up here at the left wing back spot. The ball then was missed initially, and the first time volley by Koloff. Great technique. And a superb top corner strike by number 6.
The shirt tuck, Ross. What did I say?
That's what it does. If he should have been untucked, he'd have put that one into the parking lot.
And that one would be making its way out to the middle of nowhere, and instead, Kurt Koloff hits it so clean. That's just what a tidy man in a tucked-in shirt can do. Kurt Koloff, the loanee from Minnesota United. Last year, played with their second team in MLS Next Pro, had a goal and 7 assists.
Yeah, certainly someone looking to get more minutes as the season goes on. Came off the bench in the first 2 league games. Staking his claim to a starting spot with that strike.
So a well-crafted set piece, and then a lovely half volley from the top of the 18 has given San Antonio FC their 2 goals. This one falls through for Nelson Flores Blanco, and a much-needed intervention kept that from being a shot on goal at point-blank range.
Yeah, San Antonio looking for the goal that will put this one away. If it isn't already put away, third would certainly do it. A good first touch, just a little heavy though, by Nelson Flores Blanco. Another man trying to stake his claim to a starting role.
Started one of the 2 games so far in league play. Guy who joined back in June of 2024. Was a USL League One champ with North Carolina FC.
And one thing this San Antonio squad has in spades is depth. Plenty of options at every spot. Watch out.
Some pressure from Hernandez, but composure wins the day in the moment. Lucas Simon. That was some good dribbling work there as Johan Bernard.
He's worked his way back into the game as Johan Bernard had a bit of a rough first 20-25 minutes, but there's a couple of nice bright moments here in the last 10. That's
a lovely ball up. Now do they do anything with it? Well defended by Thiago Suarez.
Yeah, this guy's big body. Watch out.
This one been carelessly given away. Can they do anything with it? Stepping in is Swahi.
You can see just the pure size of this back three, how physical they are. For San Antonio, just knocking these ASC New Star players off the ball with ease.
Now a chance to stretch their opposition for a moment. Hawkinson goes off of him last, so it'll be a goal kick.
Carlos Llamosa had a nice little run when he was an assistant coach with the Timbers. Got to the semi-final of this competition back in 2019, and he, as a player, he joined DC United 1 year too late after they won the 1996 title.
Played with them there, and then was also part of, on the flip side of things when it comes to success, also the downside was with Chivas USA in 2006 when they lost to Dallas Roma FC, which was a 4th division side in the North Texas Premier Soccer Association. That would be like if this ASC New Stars team beat an MLS side, so that's a pretty significant cup set.
This competition is all about.
Tainter. Excuse me, that's Nelson Flores Blanco. Sorto shoots. Played right in the middle for Frias to knock down.
As you would expect, a solid bench at Carlos Llamosa's disposal tonight. Plenty of players who will feature in the starting lineup. E.J. Johnson, who just signed yesterday, he's on there as well. Dimitri Eurofave, what a start he's got off to this season, the teenager. Keem O'Connor, Ward, Daniel Barbier at the back, Parano and Cuejo. Plenty of experience on the bench. Obviously with the game this weekend, the score continues to trend this way. You'd expect Carlos Llamosa to go to the bench relatively early. Perhaps at the break.
Yeah, a ton of starters that he'll be able to shift into as Sorto rolls it up top. Hernandez went for the extra pass. He probably could have shot there. No one closed him off.
Say, New Star's done a good job of keeping an eye on Jorge Hernandez. He really hasn't done a ton here in this first half.
Looks like someone in the crowd providing the assist there for the throw in to Tainter.
He has created 3 chances so far, Hernandez. No shots though. I'll take that. Despite 2 touches, man, 3rd touch in the opponent's box there.
Time winding down here in the first half of action. 2 goals for San Antonio. They've been the ones knocking the ball around for the bulk of this game. Kalev, well, tried the backheel feed from Hawkinson.
It's almost a filthy bit of skill.
And that's been about the gist of what's happened when the visitors have gotten the ball. They just immediately are then confronted with the size and speed that these USL Championship players are all built of.
Obviously a proud moment for these amateurs just getting this far, right? We know how much, those that don't know about it, how much of a slog US Open Cup qualifying can be. See now, you're guaranteed a game against the pros in your first round proper.
Oh yeah, just getting here and being on the pitch right now is an exciting opportunity. Obviously you go in hoping to get the upset as well, but even making it this far is certainly cause for celebration. I mean, you can even look at Lucas Simon, who's out there right now. He still fondly remembers that 2011 and 2012 trip.
Basically player coach tonight, listed as the main coach of this team. harsh there, perhaps. Referee Edgar Garcia tonight in green.
On the other side, Sordo. Not sure if he was trying to cross that or shoot it, and end up being stuck somewhere in between.
He got caught in two minds whether just to smash it with the outside of his left foot.
Well, with that, it'll be the halftime whistle. 2-0 your scoreline. One well-crafted set piece, and then a pop shot from the top of the 18 from Kurt Koloff makes it 2-0 in favor of San Antonio. With that in mind, we're now gonna step aside. We'll have about 13 minutes of break, and then when we come back, we'll get you the highlights, the stats, and then get you ready for the second 45 minutes of action here. We'll see you then. San Antonio FC leading 2-0 over ASC New Stars here in the opening round of the 111th Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Mark Schoenster, Ross Davenport with you here on the broadcast. Let's take a peek at some of the highlights. Basically, a game that took place majority on the left half of the pitch. Some great defensive stance from ASC New Stars, especially early in the game, but eventually the home side would break through. You see a couple of corner kicks, several set pieces, and then this one would break the deadlock.
Yeah, Johan Bernard just a little late to get off that near post. Kept everybody in red onside and made them pay.
And it would keep pouring on here. A couple more chances. Emmanuel Frias making a couple of good stops. And then you see here another quickly taken set piece that led to an opportunity. And then eventually they would find that second goal. Kurt Koloff, just 22 years old from Westchester, New York. Have a hit.
Certainly potential for the best goal of the round. First time volley, and yeah, there are your stats. They certainly do tell the story in this one. We'll see if either team makes any changes at the break here. ASC could get a little younger in the midfield. They wanted to at some point here in the second half. And San Antonio with obviously a game on Saturday against New Mexico. I'm sure we'll see Carlos Shimosa go to the bench sooner rather than later in this one.
Yeah, more so just a minute managing thing to make sure that nobody is overexerting themselves, as we do see the fourth official at the bottom of the screen getting ready to signal some changes. Danny Barbier will be making his entrance to the match for Mitch Tainer.
Tainer ran a ton in that first half. It was mostly into the ASC half. He only had to track back one time really against Ivan Miketa.
So Barbier, who started in the two games to start the season, will get a 45-minute shift here in the middle of the week. Coming over from Lexington last season. But a guy who's pretty experienced in the USL throughout his career, despite just 12 appearances last season for the side newly minted into the USL Championship.
New Stars with no touches in the San Antonio box in that first half. 26 for San Antonio going the other way. Tells the story.
Well, they're looking to get their first touch here as it's launched into the penalty area, but can't get on the receiving end of that launched pass. So Richard Sanchez, the goalkeeper, who has spent most of this game picking daisies, will put this one back in play.
Changes. Kaya Shimosa gets to those in a second.
Also see on top of Danny Barbier subbing into the game, Mitri Eurofave and Christian Pirano subbing into the match. Mikey Maldonado and Jorge Hernandez taking their leave. We were a little shocked to see Jorge Hernandez in the starting lineup to begin the game, but putting in 45 minutes and was a busy man throughout.
Yeah, you have to assume that was the plan all along. Get some of these starters out as long as things were well in hand at the break, with the big game against New Mexico coming on Saturday.
Take care of your guys and also give respect to the opponents that made their way up to this point to get here. Mentioned it in the first half, and I'll say it again, the mentality going into this game for a team like ASC New Stars is that you're happy you've made it this far and you get the honor of playing in a stadium like Toyota Field against a quality professional program.
Pressing a little bit here, love it to see it. See if they can get a turnover. That's one way of stopping the transition opportunity.
Can't discount the exuberance.
A bit clumsy there from the one young man in the ASC midfield, Elijah Flores.
He's accompanied by 32-year-old Miguel Zapata, 39-year-old player coach Lucas Simon. We've got Tata Amati and Giovanni Macias on the outside as well.
San Antonio will be hoping they can avoid Union Omaha, who they fell to last season, 6-0 Union Omaha up in their first round game tonight. New Mexico United, who previously mentioned, they just started their game against Cruisers. Did not get time to learn where Cruisers are from, Mark.
They're cruising for a bruising, Ross.
It's potentially both BOHF St. Louis taking the beating tonight against Omaha. Cruisers are from the NPSL. I'm just learning from Modesto.
We're watching Ross Davenport, or y'all are listening, I'm watching Ross Davenport educating himself.
Listen, every year the U.S. Open Cup educates me on some of these new teams. My local boys, Florida Badgers, unfortunately lost tonight. Did South Florida proud though with that tough game against Charleston. 102nd minute, so 12th minute stoppage time, I should say. Winner for the Battery.
Too heavy a pass back will mean the first corner kick here in the second half for San Antonio. They'll be looking to move on to the second round, which will take place March 31st or April 1st, depending on which day the hosting team decides to have the match. And it'll just be the 32 winners from the first round, so there won't be any new teams being introduced yet. You'll have to wait another layer before you get to seeing some of the other professional clubs get added into the foray.
Yeah, smaller competition this year. It has been in quite a while. Obviously defending champs Nashville not defending their title due to CONCACAF Champions Cup commitments.
So we'll be a new winner this year. You gotta love that, in theory, a team playing yesterday, today, or tomorrow could go on to win the whole thing. Obviously, it's a pretty tall task as Sanchez commits a foul that's going to earn a penalty.
Mr. Sanchez showing why he's been on the bench for the first two USL Championship games of the season. Yelling at his defenders there. We'll take a look at what led to this. Ball was flicked inside. Sanchez really didn't need to be coming out for this. He had a defender there covering Luqueta, who was going away from goal, and Sanchez decided it was a good idea to take out Ivan Luqueta's leg. Well, this would make things a little interesting. Giovanni Macias maybe stepping up for this one. Surprise it's not Ivan Luqueta.
Well, you have your guy, maybe in practice yesterday or in the build-up to this. You had your penalty kick drills, and it will be Giovanni Macias, the head women's coach at Texas A&M International University, where he also played his college ball. And he has some of his players cheering him on right now. And it's saved. Sanchez making up for his error.
Another first round penalty save for you and I, Mark, in a game last year at this stage. Best of penalties by Macias. Far too close to Sanchez.
So Richard Sanchez makes a mess of that situation, but to his credit, turns around and ensures that the deficit is not cut into here. Now on the ball is Pirano. Look at that speed, Pirano sliding it to Hawkinson. That just came off the boot wrong as we see this penalty kick again from Macias.
And a little stutter step. Sanchez is always going that way. Had to have been put in the side netting if he was going to beat him or go high. And Macias did neither. A comfortable save in the end for Sanchez.
Return to sender there on that pass, deflected out. Tata Amadi trying to get it forward.
I say New Star's looking a little braver to start this second half. You've got nothing to lose. Come out and give it a go. They're perhaps a little tentative at times in that first 45. Understandably so, but when you're down 2-0, you might as well throw everything at it.
Parano cuts it inside. The shot knocked out. You're a fave, the one letting it pop there. You know, you can play and be scared of losing when you're going up against a team that you know the odds are stacked against you. I think you come out and you just play ball. You might get beat, but at least you went out there and played, and that's what they're doing here in the second half.
Maybe just a little in awe of the situation early on, but now things are opening up as a result.
I mean, so much can be said about if you're playing with some freedom and some enjoyment, what that can do for your execution and for your creativity. Hawkinson on the ball. Slides it to his left for Sordo. And intervening, Emmanuel Frias. We talked about maybe once or twice in that first half was a little too tentative to get to the ball, but those fears have been shrugged off at this point.
Well, it seemed like there may have been some contact, but as a referee, you either have to give the penalty or give a yellow card for simulation. You can't just give a goal kick and walk away, but he's doing that. Christian Soto, I think, knew exactly what he was trying to do. I think it was sort of an agreement that we're just going to go with a goal kick and don't do that again.
Handball there.
Union Omaha have got the extra point mark, 7-0.
Wow.
No mercy. Pato with the 7th.
Peyton Manning would be proud.
Save some of those for the next round, boys. Tomorrow's always the fun time when you start looking at potential second round matchups.
There's Franklin Jethro Berry. Berry once again chops it over to the left-hand side.
He's a big man, Frank Berry. Didn't mention him much in the first half. Ooh. Speculative strike. Lucas Simon had some venom on it, but blocked.
Koloff will carry it forward now. Swahi pulling that one up for Parano, and Koloff now will slice it over to the left-hand side. Service bending inside, headed towards goal, saved by Frias.
Parano won't have many headed shots in his career. It's not the tallest of gentlemen. He's got very quick feet, though. See the pace he provides in his first 11 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, standing at a staggering 5'4", as we're going to get some changes for the visitors here. All right, so out go the player coach Lucas Simon and Tata Amadi. In come Desaline Allison and Delano Foster. Meanwhile, making his debut for San Antonio, E.J. Johnson, fresh off the press, signed yesterday. Coming into the game and making his first appearance in a San Antonio jersey. As Allison gets on the ball early, and that'll stop very quickly.
EJ Johnson on a 25-day deal. See what he can bring. Been around USL Championship as well as Scotland for a couple of teams. So we'll see here what these youngsters can bring to the field for the visitors tonight. Some fresh legs, still only 2-0. Maybe I spoke too soon.
Opportunity here, but once again, a penalty has been called. A challenge from behind, warranting a point to the spot from our head official.
Yeah, that's the right decision from the referee. Many referees, if you get the shot away, you can see here the challenge certainly affected the shot from behind. And he only really accidentally got the shot off in the end, did Luke Hawkinson.
So right now it looks like Christian Sordo is the one who will give this a go against the 36-year-old goalkeeper, Emmanuel Frias. Sordo coming over from El Paso Locomotive last season to now play here with San Antonio, staying in state. He'll wind up and absolutely smashes it. Bottom right corner. 3-0 San Antonio.
I think it was the substitute, Delano Foster, with the challenge. Just only on the pitch for a matter of minutes. Just very clumsy. Good save by Frias on the accidental shot, and then the quality penalty from Sordo as the commentator's jinx makes it 3-0.
You mentioned his interaction, the substitute, on the bad end of it, but EJ Johnson, the one who tapped that into the open space, having just come into the game for San Antonio on the other side, gets the penalty assist, if you will. So 3-0 it is. A set piece, a rocket from just outside the penalty area, and then a penalty kick for San Antonio to make it 3-0. Now a corner kick for ASC New Stars. Service played in and made contact, but it'll sail over the crossbar. One of the greatest rivalries in women's international soccer is coming to Seattle. The U.S. women's national team returns to Lumen Field for the first time in nearly a decade, facing Japan on Tuesday, April 14th. World Cup finals, Olympic thrillers, iconic moments. This rivalry has delivered it all. As Pirano takes it into the penalty area, outside boot pass, wind-up shot, and it's off target. The goalkeeper was on the ground.
He's asking how do you end up on the ground for this? So we can take another look at it here. Once again, quick feet from Pirano. Blocked into a little bit by our substitute. Frias went down a little easily.
For those interested in that women's soccer game, by the way, it's coming to the Pacific Northwest, and you can get tickets today at ussoccer.com/tickets. Went all the way up the pitch before I could finish letting you know about that.
That's how the second half has gone. Things are certainly opening up. And the ASC New Stars being a little braver in possession.
Good touch there from Allison. Gives it a go. Deflection still in the mixer. Ultimately, it's handled by Reese Buckmaster and San Antonio FC.
So I was going to wait till tomorrow to look at potential next round matchups, but with the 3-0 lead now, start looking at potential second round matchups for San Antonio. Laredo Heat play El Paso tomorrow night.
Sorto rips this one in centrally, and nearly deflected, but actually well settled by Franklin Berry. Some good contact there. Gives the ball to the New Stars. Stolen back by San Antonio. Pirano steps in himself, and it deflects over top.
Pirano continues to be particularly impressive since coming into this game. His quickness off the dribble, causing all sorts of trouble. Good toe in the end by Delano Foster.
So another corner kick on deck for San Antonio.
FC Tulsa, perhaps another potential opponent in the second round for San Antonio. They're at 4-2. Little Rock Rangers here tonight. New Mexico now 1-1 already with Cruisers.
All right,
Barely
Cruisers.
18 minutes in that game. As for Union Omaha, they went for 2 in the end, Mark, and got it.
Wow. Kolov. Take a shot to the chest there. Pirano. He'll give it a go. Franklin Berry doing well there, but it will persist. Kolov cuts it in. Pirano dancing as he goes. Pirano falls through. It's 4 for San Antonio. It just keeps on going.
Eurofave with the finish in the end. Most of the credit here to Pirano with his filthy bit of footwork here. And again, there the rollover, setting the defender sprawling. Eurofave's not going to score any easier than that.
The young 19-year-old Russian sending that one home. He's worked his way into the starting lineup, and he said after last game, he feels great because he's been working towards this and was waiting all of last year, and he said now everyone on the team I think helps me during the game and before the game, and he really appreciates that. He can play with a light mind knowing that the boys have got his back and will fight for him. Sometimes it just takes some patience as a young player. You sit within a good team and you keep plugging away and getting better and better in training, and eventually you're going to start getting your moment to step up. And I mean, he's looked good to start the year, and now he has an Open Cup goal.
You mentioned the depth. Certainly Eurofave, part of that central midfield. So strong for Carlos Llamosa. Just going to be a case of keeping players healthy this year. Trouble with injuries last season, San Antonio. Mentioned kept 15 players from last year's team, added 8.
ASC going to continue to keep pushing and fighting here. Obviously the scoreline not ideal, but I mean, once again, this match in general is a manifestation of all the work that's been done by all the different people who've been a part of their community. And this one will roll in for Pirano. Sordo. Carlo with nowhere to go, so he'll play it back. Sent over to the left-hand side. It's popped straight up in the air. But, I mean, this is an organization, talking about ASC, that's been just driven by passion. Tahir Khalili, one of the founders, talked about how lucky he's been, saying soccer is one of his biggest passions, and he's been lucky to have people like Lucas Simon and Tata Amadi, who played minutes in this game today and started the match. Obviously, you can have commitment to a club, but you got to have other guys who also put in that time over the years, and they've been able to accrue that within this organization. And
as a guy that's played amateur soccer, right, that's the toughest part, is getting guys to buy in and be there every week for training and showing up for games when you've all got a lot of responsibilities off the field, with whether it's work or family. And this club's done a great job. Hopefully they'll be back next season.
Sorto doing some business, and he gets it through. Dancing as he goes. Christian Sorto makes it 5.
chances tonight where he's messed around with. That was a lovely little touch, and then again there to open things up for him. Caught Frias just leaning to his right, unfortunately, otherwise perhaps would have made the save. Just got caught leaning a little early as a result, couldn't get enough on it to keep it out the back of the net. That makes it 5. Shout out to everybody in the YouTube chat tonight. Somebody asked if there was a mercy rule in US Open Cup. So I'll tell you that Omaha won 8-0 tonight. That'll tell you that there is no mercy rule.
I don't think these teams would want it, though. I mean, you want to get the whole 90-minute experience, right?
No, for sure. Carlos Shimoda's certainly got what he wanted out of this game, I imagine. No manager's ever 100% pleased in the performance, so I'm sure he'll have something to pick up this game about. Can't complain at the scoreline. Obviously, coming into this game, we all thought this one was one of the potentials to be one of the lopsided contests in this round.
E.J. Johnson will tap it back to Suarez. And a player down, so he'll pass it to the boundary and let play stop here. A lot of heart been shown in this game by the visitors, which is what it took for them to get this far. I always knew it was going to be a really tall ask to compete with these guys, and as you can see, the contact that was made.
Yeah, just stepped on. Obviously, one thing Carlos Jimenez doesn't want to see for sure is any injuries. Lev seems to have shrugged that one off.
Buckmaster just barely kept it in play for a moment. And now we'll get some substitutions.
Entering the match for ASC.
Give me another change for the home side. Emil Quaisho will make his entrance. And he'll take over for Christian Sordo, who has had 2 goals in this game already. One just moments ago, and then one from the penalty spot.
Impressive performance from Sordo. Could probably have had more. Looks like San Antonio now going back to the 4 at the back, which they have played on occasion. Carlos Shimoda looking for a little more flexibility from his team. From a few coaches this year I've talked to already, going between the 3 and the 4 depending on who they're playing. I spoke to Scott McKenzie at Chattanooga last week before the Greenville game. He was saying he can go either way depending who they're going up against, if they need to pack that midfield or not.
Yeah, we always talk about 3 back versus 4 back, but honestly, it's more a conversation about how many numbers you're putting in the midfield.
Correct. Yeah, where you put those extra midfielders, do you keep them out wide or do you pack the middle? A lot of coaches will also tell you that formations are only part of the deal.
Yeah.
Right? Just give you an idea of setting up to start with, but a lot of teams are more flexible than others.
Yeah, this isn't quite an American football formation where there's such a stark difference between an I formation or going into shotgun. Obviously, there's little intricacies, but once the game really gets going, then reading and reacting.
And teams these days differ so much whether they're in possession or out of possession. 3-4-3 versus 3-5-2, etc.
Buckmaster tapping the one up ahead.
Still no goal, no games have gone to extra time yet, Mark. I'm stunned. As commentators, we're not complaining about that, obviously.
This one will slide through. It trickles, and number 6 for San Antonio. Welcome to San Antonio, E.J. Johnson. Announced yesterday to be a part of the team. And he's just collected his first goal in San Antonio colors.
Right place at the right time. This is him here just hanging around at the penalty spot, looking to feed on the scraps, and he's with a good first save. He should have really have claimed that with 2 hands. Maybe have had a shout that he got his one hand on top of the ball. Some referees will consider possession, but EJ Johnson wasn't going to wait for a whistle and slams it home.
So 6-0 your scoreline here. Starting to get to football numbers here, Ross. Of course, no professional football team in San Antonio. You got the Roadrunners, but nothing at the NFL level. They just focus on their SAFC and also the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, they got a pretty good basketball team this year. I'd say all of a sudden, but I don't think anybody expected them to be as good as they have been this campaign. I know certain Mr. Wembanyama likes to kick a little soccer ball around. I've seen his skills.
Yeah, those videos of him playing with some of those kids, I don't remember where he was, but it is truly a wonderful and bizarre thing to watch.
Yeah, because it looks like he's playing with a mini soccer ball because he's so big.
Entering the match for ASC, number 32, Alejandro Novoa Perez, and number 60, Diego Herrera.
2 more players subbing on for ASC New Stars, Alejandro Novoa Perez and Diego Herrera. So 2 more guys who will have the delight of saying they got to play against a USL Championship team. 16 more minutes left in this one.
Yeah, it's a shame it got a little out of hand like this, because if that penalty had gone in, it could have been a much different outcome. Not saying San Antonio would have lost the game by any means, but perhaps wouldn't have got this bad.
Yeah, the energy boost you get from scoring a goal, whether it's from a penalty or not, certainly gives you a boost in morale.
Now, ASC New Stars will go back to their Houston FA Premier League campaign. I think they're actually off this weekend, thankfully. They're back to action next weekend with 8 games to go, I think, looking for a league title. They went 18-0 a couple of seasons ago in this league. Didn't win last year. Obviously, they're in the open division qualification. They can't get in through winning a title like some of the UPSL and League 2 teams can. They have to go through the qualifying process.
A qualifying process that was described as being matched up against organizations that were financially stronger than they are. But hey, look, once you get on the pitch, it's 11 v 11, unless of course somebody gets sent off. But you get the idea.
No, for sure. This is certainly a very, very amateur side. Maybe Ivan Luketa gets a bit of gas money now and again. As a former professional.
Yeah, hook the rest of the guys up and make it a little bit less stress to make your way over across I-10 to get here to San Antonio. About a 3-hour drive.
I know they get some free meals donated from the local restaurants as well. Speaking of local restaurants, Al Farolito underway just now against Sacramento Republic. Tune over to that game after this one is over. Al Farolito, obviously with a rich history in this competition, up against it in this first round, done no favors, excuse me, by the schedule makers in this first round, traveling to Sacramento. Not a far trip, obviously, but a tough matchup.
Yeah, Al Farolito, though, that's appointment television in the Open Cup.
I think they wear similar colors, right, to ASC New Stars. I think they wear the yellow and blue as well, if I remember. We've got a couple of late games, 3 late games. 10:30 AV Alta against Valley 559 FC, and then also at 10:30 Eastern Orange County against Laguna United, and 10:30 as well Ventura against Spokane Velocity, coming off their big win over Union Omaha on the weekend. Seen a ton of set pieces tonight, at least since the first 15 or 20 minutes. See what San Antonio can do here.
Nelson Flores Blanco settles this one down. We'll roll it back to Quayshow. Emil Quayshow, one of the substitutes. showing some of his spry energy. And glances out for a corner kick. The U.S. women's national team will conclude its 3-match series against Japan on Friday, April 17th in Commerce City, Colorado. Featuring the last 2 She Believes Cup champions, this top 10 matchup takes place on a special Hello Kitty themed night at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. Secure your tickets today at ussoccer.com/tickets.
Hello Kitty themed, I'm intrigued, Mark.
Any of your kids get into Hello Kitty at all?
Not that I remember. Go on, son.
Allison making his way to the penalty area. They'll play it across. And Richard Sanchez able to lunge onto it.
Allison's been impressive since coming on.
Allison, guy who from Cypress, Texas, and played his high school ball at Scythere High School. Go Bobcats.
He just couldn't get enough on that left-footed shot to trouble Sanchez much. He featured in qualifying quite heavily, did Allison.
Barry. Tried to play it up the pitch, but once again, San Antonio FC able to lock onto that one like a hawk. Just able to read and react a little bit faster. That's the difference, though.
We had a question in the chat, Mark, we can bring up for discussion. Do we think San Antonio will go for USL Premier League? I know this stadium is able to be expanded to what would be, I think it's 15,000, right? The minimum. Interesting to see. They've certainly got the financial backing and the support to do so.
It certainly wouldn't shock me.
You see a nice sized metropolis. They've had the success, relatively consistent success over the years, even going back to the Scorpions days.
I was saying you've got a good backing here as well. And I was just mentioning earlier about the Spurs. I mean, this is a city that rallies very much behind its teams. I definitely think that's in the realm of possibilities. Corner kick is curled in, and it'll be claimed by Frias. He had to make sure he towed the line there.
He was under some pressure. The drop kick. Missed the old drop kicks. That was almost a beautiful one, too.
That was awfully close.
A ton of distance on that. So you just drop kicks, you can sometimes get even more power on it. You don't really get underneath it as much as you do on the punts.
Stop reading the chat. Brother, look at the scoreline.
I like this feature. We don't get to have it in our USL games or MLS Next Pro, so it's always fun to interact with the fans out there. Thanks for tuning in tonight, especially hanging in this one.
And jesting aside about the scoreline here, it is worth noting, even going into this game, ASC New Stars mentioned, regardless of the outcome, stepping onto the field against a professional powerhouse is already a victory in another big chapter in the club's history.
As you mentioned, 14 years since they last made it. Those guys, those 30-plus guys in the midfield were in their early 20s the last time they made it, so it's great for the young guys to experience it, because you never know when you're going to get back just because of the difficulty that is qualifying in this competition.
Yeah, I mean, think about all the players and the supporters and the people who have contributed to the club since the last Open Cup appearance, and they've all had something to do with them making it back now.
also hope it'll attract other local talent, right, to come play for you perhaps rather than another team. And hey, we just made the US Open Cup in 2026. Come play for us rather than another team in our division.
San Antonio with another foray here. Ripping towards goal. Frias able to manage that one. Parano with the turn, taps it back. Quayshow tries the curler, knocked away. And the flag should go up there, and it will. Lucky number 7 will be denied here.
Just a step or so behind that last defender on that shot. You see the top of your screen here. Yeah, in the corner of the box there. Fallen to Eurofave. He was actually onside, I think.
As this game is wrapping up, just worth acknowledging San Antonio have got New Mexico United on Saturday, who just scored against Cruisers, by the way. And I mean just, as in the notification popping up as I am telling you about their upcoming match. So looks like they're gonna do what they can to escape a cup set against the Cruisers with a Z. Gotta add in that little extra sauce in your team name title. Parano. Cutting in. Slips it through the middle. Center back stepping in to clear it away and avoiding a chunky collision there. It ended up just being a minor one.
A bit of a miscommunication.
Goalie defender both going for it. Eurofave lets it fly.
Oh, had some whip on it. You might find that top corner.
Five more minutes to go in this one. Obviously a second division professional side up against an amateur club. Sometimes you get these score lines, and took some time though before San Antonio were able to get on the board. About, what was it, 15, 20 minutes, and they were attacking pretty hard to start the game.
Yeah, Macias ruined that penalty miss. Thinking of that one when his head hits the pillow tonight. What if that penalty had gone in and made it 2-1 early in the second half? Yes, it might be 6-1, but you never know with some youngsters off the bench and a little bit of momentum. You never know what can happen. Games can change on a dime.
Eurofave will play it forward to Johnson. Parano stepping into a shot. It falls back to him. And now ASC with a chance to counter. That one's launched into the penalty area. Makes contact with its intended target, but it was a tall ask for the recipient.
You may count that one as their second shot of the evening. Sorry, so that is their sixth shot. Only one on target so far. That was that low save from Sanchez. Penalty, obviously.
This one will slip through. And there's the offside flag and whistle.
It's a late one.
Now, there's a moment of doubt there for a moment. You're thinking, surely, but you never know.
From the word from VAR almost. Been a good job by the officiating crew tonight. Hasn't been obviously any nonsense in this game, really. Both teams came to play. We sometimes worry about these amateur sides coming and just deciding to throw their weight around. It's one way of staying competitive in a game, but ASC New Stars have come to play soccer tonight, especially in the second half. They did, I'll give them credit in the second half. They came out and opened things up a little bit. Obviously cost them in the end. Much braver than they were in the first 45 minutes.
Yeah, you could have continued to stay bunkered down and try to prevent yourself from conceding as many goals as possible. But, I mean, at one point, is it even worth doing that? Perhaps if the game is 1-0 and you're just waiting for one opportunity to present itself, just that one single chance that you can level the game, go to extra time, and hope for the best there. But you get down a couple goals, and you might as well play the way you would play in any other match you would throughout the season.
No, it's clearly what Lucas Simon said at halftime to his crew. Hey, nothing to lose here. Let's just give it a go.
On the ball now is Emil Cuecho. Slips it through nicely. Nelson Flores Blanco across the middle. And once again, the whistle sounds.
I thought he was a few inches offside when the ball was played. The ball should have been played a few seconds earlier. AJ Johnson wants another one. Not going to get it here. Maybe the last chance for San Antonio.
Scoring a goal in his debut with the club. Hasn't even been around for a week. Well, at least hasn't officially been around for a week. Sometimes these signings, it takes some time for the announcement to become official, and you've been training with the squad, etc. But public knowledge was, as of Monday, he was not with San Antonio FC. Parano chops it across. And once again, that one will be stopped dead in its tracks, and the final whistle will sound. San Antonio will move on. Victorious 6-0 against the amateur side, who fought valiantly for 90 minutes here on the road at Toyota Field. San Antonio basically throughout demonstrating the quality they've got as a Division II professional side. Maintaining possession, constantly pulling the other team apart. As we take a look at the many different ways they were able to find the back of the net tonight. First off, with this training ground set piece.
Swahi with a nice volleyed finish. Speaking of volleyed finishes. This is the better one. Outside of the right foot from Colin.
Yeah, that's got to be the one you take home with you from the 6 goals here this evening, as we then get the penalty from Richard Sanchez. A tough decision there from the goalkeeper, but he doesn't get punished for it on the score sheet, though. I'm sure he'll have some conversations post-game when they're discussing the performances in the match. And then the action would continue on the other side. A penalty awarded, and Christian Sorto would put it away. Expertly placed.
That was the goal that really finished it off. Of course, the penalty, followed by the penalty.
And then Parano dancing in traffic, and it falls to Eurofave. Smashes it home. And then Sorto would get a second one, scooting by a couple defenders, and then having the right ankle on the goalkeeper. And then they would have one more to take home with them. EJ Johnson in his debut at the club, putting it in. With that in mind, this is where our show will end. Appreciate you all tuning in for this Open Cup broadcast. Got a lot of other great games taking place this evening and tomorrow, so be sure to tune in on the U.S. Soccer YouTube channel. But for our broadcasting crew, Ross Davenport, I'm Mark Schoenster saying so long, good night, and we'll see you next time.